I am listening to the Black Crowes, and this is 90s, but the style of the music is more 80s and 70s, whereas everything is much calmer. And then listening to it in stereo with my headphones makes me, well, it brought me to memories, many different memories that are interesting concepts. The society, the technology has been progressing a lot in any field, but my personal technology field could be like the music, right? In how much it changes in the last 45 years that I've been listening to music, or even longer. Yeah. So at the beginning, at least stereo was an amazing thing. Now people don't give a shit about stereo or mono, because most of the times they listen with one big speaker, and that's it. You don't have the stereo. Even if you have two speakers, if you're not in the right place, or with the right volume or whatever, if it is at home, it's not the same as if you are outdoors. I mean, the feeling of the three-dimensional music, that is like one rhythm is in both ears, and then one melody comes to one ear, and then another rhythm or another melody or a solo here. And then what I mean is that when we were this kind of people enjoying the music relaxed like that, and then the evolution of the whole society, the technology, the musical culture, and the way people are watching movies now at 1.5 speed or 2 times speed, because they want to see it faster, because they're not interested in the form. They just want to go to the meaning, and that's good for them. But we analogic people, we enjoy the form sometimes as much or even more than the core meaning. Because everything is about living. Yeah, you can be as fast as you want, and be the first one arriving there. So what? Wait for me there. I will be there maybe 20 years later than you, in any dimension. And I will be aware of all these things that I'm talking about, that people they could understand what I'm talking about, but they probably don't feel it the way I'm feeling it, or they just never felt it, or they were never aware how they were feeling. So these are the different dimensions of the knowledge and the awareness, because every awareness brings knowledge, and that's where the wisdom is coming from. And it's probably what they call Akashic records. I don't give a shit about names. So the words are so fucking limiting that maybe the first person who was talking about that gave it the name, and the rest of the people are talking about something that is not that, because they are based only on the words, but they never got the real meaning of the experiencing it. And that's a huge difference. And I always get these kind of conversations with people that they tell me that what I'm saying, so somebody wrote about it, and some other people wrote about it, depending on who I'm talking about and which aspect. Somebody wrote about it. Yeah, but I didn't read it. I got the knowledge from there. I didn't have to read it, because I'm wondering all the time things. Always. I've been always wondering. And by wondering, it's not only wondering, it's always asking. And some people told me, friends, that at the beginning they thought I was too nosy, because I was making questions, but they were not. Yeah, they were. Some of them could look like personal questions, but they were personal, of course. But I want to know what person is talking about. So I need to connect. If you are not telling me with your energy, or I cannot feel in it, the words are good just to help to connect, and that's what I do most of the times. And I think one day I realized, yeah, I think there was a moment that I unlocked my receiving all these things. So most of the times I don't need to ask. I know what they are talking about, but not always, of course. So when I don't know it, I ask. And I am not asking in order to judge them at all. They can feel any kind of offensive meaning if they want to. I just want to know their perspective, because probably it is mine, but I have probably 100 more perspectives. And I want to make sure we're talking about the same page in this perspective. And that's what people don't understand. So whatever, answer. I want to know why they did this, or why they want to do this, or what, because from which perspective. And then I can be on that perspective, compare with my other 1,000 perspectives, and then you get to a higher dimension, because then it's like, okay, I've seen them all. I made the unmanifest, what my unmanifest means. I think the unmanifest in three-dimensional world, it doesn't have the same meaning as what it is for me. It's just being aware of everything in that dimension, so you are in a higher dimension. So the first dimension is being aware of yourself, most of the people. But some people have never been aware of themselves. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's not that you recognize yourself in the mirror. No, it's asking yourself things in your mind, and then listening that you are asking things in your mind. That's it. That's the first dimension. And then becoming an expert in that first dimension, maybe one day you come to the next dimension. But it can be in 1 second, in 1 million years, just like being aware for the first time. Some people, well, we are all aware when we are all born, but they keep telling us not to believe our lies. They were not lies, because when we were imagining our world and they say, hey, don't believe in these things, for us, we were creating our reality. The three wise king, or Santa Claus, or for whatever you are from, was the most real thing that you can feel as a child, nothing else. Also pain, when you have real pain, but laughing is not so big in this context, where you know they've been there, Santa Claus or whoever, because you feel the presence that it was there, because maybe your parents were having some drinks and invited the three wise kings, and they were having dinner, and every brother and sister we have as Melchor, Gaspar, Baltasar, it was for every, if we were 3 children, and in that moment, we are creating these realities. They are real. In this quantum way, it is as real as the adult reality. And I've been experiencing that not only with the three wise kings and the Ratoncito Pérez, which is the tooth fairy, and I had it with Venice town. When I was aware of Venice, I just heard about the town in the water. So for me, it was an amazing place with dolphins and whales, all the kind of animals, and then you go snorkeling to the basement in the garage to get an automobile that is ready for the water or something, you know, and blue water. Everything was like a fairy tale. So I knew, I don't know, maybe when I was 14, 15, maybe you start reading and knowing more about Venice, and then you are coming to this reality. But your reality, well, it was there, and it was so fucking real as the car of your friend's father. That you know it has a car, but you don't know which one, and you don't even give a shit. So it is as real. You say, yeah, it's real. So I mean that this imaginary thing is more real than the real thing. So I was not gonna talk about this. I was gonna talk about the speed of life. How most of the people are in a real hurry, and they will arrive earlier, of course, all of them, and they become the leaf of the tree. But the problem is that most of the people, probably nobody knows what the leaf of the tree is. It is a concept that I created, and probably it was created before, because I'm sure, because everything I get, somebody tells me, yeah, this philosopher or this wise man or whoever said that or this, and y la gente ahora and people living this high-speed life, they are missing everything. And I was just feeling it now in Spanish, and I tried to express it in English, and I got disconnected. And people are working more, harder, faster, doing everything to do more things, and do. The more things you do, the less you dream, and the less you dream, the less realities you create, because of these childhood experiences that I was talking about. So the more you go in the material world, no material about money or no, just unidimensional world, because you are so focused in something that you are missing everything else. And yeah, you think you are happy until you realize that you are not, because sooner or later you're gonna feel like the dog following the rabbit in this race and catch the rabbit, and it's not a rabbit, it's just a doll. Sooner or later it's gonna happen, and more sooner than later, because, well, no, it doesn't matter. If it is later, it's worse, of course, because you will have been shown every day thousands of ways of feeling the other way around, and if you discover it when you are 75, at least you discover it, and you can connect the ones that you missed. You can do it. And that's the problem with unidimensional rational world, that you miss opportunities. It's never a missed opportunity. Nothing is a missed opportunity.